Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with a quick preview of Majogami, which is coming to the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 at the end of this month. A demo just launched on the eShop and I will tell you what I think about it. But first, a bit of background. This is quite an important release for the industry because the physical release, which is only in Japan and Southeast Asia, will be a proper cartridge on Nintendo Switch 2, and not even a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, okay? I'm talking about a bona fide Switch 2 bespoke release. The Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 releases are not compatible with one another. It's an import exclusive on Switch and Switch 2, and it will play in English. Now, as we know, proper Switch 2 physical releases are not exactly commonplace these days due to their inherent cost, so the fact that Inti Creates, a small-ish publisher, is braving it to see how it goes is commendable, and their future physical output may depend on if this is financially successful or not, so it's important. The game better be good, right? Well, the demo is really short, it's like 10-15 minutes, but I do think it gives a solid example of what to expect from the main game. It is an action platformer, as with pretty much every Inti Creates game, and this seems to have a large focus on chained combos. You have a standard attack, but you can lock onto enemies with the ZR button and unleash a dash attack into the air, and you can chain these together on multiple foes, and it is clear the game is going to be designed around using this gimmick to get around the stage as efficiently as possible. If you take good advantage of this, you'll probably finish the stage faster and be able to access difficult to reach places, get treasure chests and stuff like that, little secrets, and I think this will be great for those who enjoy flowing through stages in the best way possible. I think Sonic fans may enjoy this, or those who find satisfaction in chaining attacks together. Boss battles will play a big part, no doubt, and the demo boss, once I got used to managing the amount of chains I was able to do, it did come together nicely, eventually. And I do apologize for the gameplay, it looks very poor what I'm doing, but it's literally just a short demo, not enough time to really get to grips with it. And there is a part in here where you can lock onto an enemy, but some of them require a different type of lock-on, by holding down the ZR button for a certain length of time before you damage them. Some require longer presses than others. Now hopefully this is shown better in the main game because I wasn't entirely certain which enemies needed which length of lock-on. I'm sure it will come more naturally once the game is fully released and it gives more time for these mechanics to breathe. One thing I'm not sold on though is the storytelling. That the art is super nice, but with this kind of story direction, they might as well not have a story at all. Like it's impossible for me to get invested or care what the characters are saying. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but just having character sprites or nice close-up artwork of them doesn't let me into the world. It is beautiful though, I'll give it that. The artwork is worthy of an art book. Now, I played the demo on the Nintendo Switch 2, and apparently you will have the option to choose between 4K resolution or 120 frames per second gameplay. Sadly, the demo does not allow you into any options to test these out, so I won't know which one I prefer until I have the main game. And that is supposed to be the only real difference between the two consoles, so it's kind of weird that the Switch and Switch 2 versions aren't compatible with one another. Maybe they really do want to see the potential of the Switch 2 in terms of the physical releases, or maybe they didn't think about it enough before committing because Inti Creates' next release is a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, so it's cross-compatible, unlike Majogami. So, as I said, the physical release, it's important, and if you want to import a copy, you can do so with the links below in the description and pinned comment. So last time I talked about this, well, here's the up-to-date information. This game will release physically in Japan in a standard edition as well as a limited edition. Now the standard edition on Nintendo Switch 2 is obviously priced quite a bit higher than the Switch version and quite a bit above its digital release price. But I've heard this so much, okay? So many people have said, I'd prefer a higher cost if it means a proper cartridge. And yeah, they're being serious with this. It is quite expensive. The limited edition is also on both consoles, and this includes the game alongside an art book, which will probably be fantastic, by the way, because it looks gorgeous, as well as a double soundtrack CD. That's the Japanese version, and it will play in English just fine. However, here's a bit of new information. There will also be a physical release in Southeast Asia on Nintendo Switch 2, which will have an English cover. So that's cool. But there's no limited edition there. If you want to pre-order any of these, you can do so via the links below in the description and pinned comment. You can pre-order all of these from PlayAsia, and if you click my link, you can use the code Jordan2025 to get 5% off. Now, VGP are also an option. Sadly, they don't have the English cover version, but they are rocking the Japanese version, and maybe they made a mistake because the Switch 2 Standard Edition is much cheaper on VGP than PlayAsia. I think they've priced it lower than it should be, so maybe you want to make the most of that. And VGP, they have free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks. And any purchase made via any of my links, I do thank you greatly for your support. Is it worth it based on the demo? It is impossible to tell right now. It's way too short to give a full answer, but I do think the mechanics are interesting, and playing it for yourself definitely clears up any confusion the trailer may have caused, because if you watch the trailer, visually it's quite disorientating, but playing it yourself, it flows nicely, and I look forward to seeing how that translates into the full game. How about you? Will you be buying this? Let me know in the comments below. And also, subscribe if you're new here. You'll want to know my final thoughts about it when it releases, right? Well, you gotta subscribe to do that. And also check out some of my other videos that are on the screen right now, okay? Have a great day. Take care.